All right,
something came up. I have to go, guys.
Jesus Christ, I'm gonna murder every one of you. Oh man. Hey everybody, what's up? We're here. We did it. It's been a week. Thank you guys for spending all week on this and taking so much time. HellHades, Cold Brew, YST, Skratch. I just cannot thank you enough. I know the community's been super stoked on this. It's been a lot of fun.
I wasn't really sure what to expect from this when you said you fancy doing it, but I was like, yeah, I'll do it. This has been brilliant. This has been loads of fun. Hats off, dude. It's been really cool. Like, great event and easily set up to do more, which is awesome, man.
I've already got some ideas planned out. So yeah, nice. We're gonna be doing more of this. Welcome, I'm the DeadwoodJedi, and this is the finale of the Clan Boss Draft. I cannot tell you how excited I am for this and how much fun I've had all week covering this, doing this, working on the teams, talking with the other guys, and you guys apparently have been too. You've been, watching all the videos, coming out with the premieres, and there were 2,500 of you at the live stream, which is absolutely insane to me, and I'm just so appreciative of all of that support that you guys have shown us. But I want to ask you for one small favor before we get into the video. These content creators put in so much time, so much effort building these teams, not to mention, coming on and talking about all the builds and the competition itself. They really dedicated a lot of their time for this, and they do amazing work on the YouTube channel. So take a moment, go over to their YouTube channels and click that subscribe button, because they are absolutely 100% worth following if you like this game. And if you're gonna go ahead and subscribe, take a moment, subscribe to my channel too, guys. I mean, I put in a lot of work on this. It is very exhausting, totally worth it, but your support is, has made this completely worth it so far. And if you could just go a little bit further, hit that subscribe button, that notification bell. I cannot thank you enough. It really makes a world of difference for doing this kind of content, and I know you want to see more. So doing that is by far the easiest way to push me to do more of this kind of content. And you're definitely going to want to stick around to the end of this video. Not only are there amazing clan boss teams here, and I mean amazing, from all 5 creators, and the competition's surprisingly close, but at the end we also have our reveal, the punishment for the losers with an embarrassing story, and they are good. They are nice stories for sure, worth sticking around all the way to the end just for that. But yeah, I know you don't want to wait anymore. Let's go ahead. Let's watch the video.
Plarium, like the idea, like the reaction from the community.
I mean, I hope so.
Find it.
I know that the people we talk to, they seem to really enjoy this, but that's their focus, is community and stuff like that. And it seems like we've got a lot of great support throughout. People just seem to be really into this, can't get enough of the content on it, and so I'm super excited to keep doing this, do more of it. How was your experience with this, Skratch?
Yeah, pretty good, man. I'm always down for this sort of things. Like I've been talking with Banana Jam like months ago about an arena thing, which we're gonna do probably at some point. But I'm always game for them. I like them. They're pretty engaging. Good to have a bit of banter with you guys, which I'm pretty sure we're gonna have in a bit once we're gonna see all the pictures and we're gonna hear all the nice stories.
Oh yeah,
it should be fun.
I actually really enjoyed watching you guys all on HellHades channel. I was like, oh wait, they did one without me. But it was really enjoyable to watch, and
yeah, that started right. I was like, I'm gonna be streaming soon. Any of you guys free? Do you just fancy coming on for a chat? And Skratch was like, yeah, I could do it. And then like 5 minutes before, YST said, oh, I can make it. I was like, cool. And then whilst we were chatting, Cold Brew popped up, and he's like, I'm here. So it's like, damn. So we got all the underdogs in the house. Let's do it.
Underdog party.
Yeah.
Everybody else except Deadwood is an underdog.
Yeah. Everyone had a lot of faith in me. Well, I'm hopeful that I was able to do that faith justice. We're gonna see here in a bit. Why, I see you got anything you want to add before we get into showing some of these runs and some of the champions involved?
Yeah, Hades and Cold Brew.
Yeah.
Obviously, you wanted to become 3rd or 4th or 2nd, but yeah, it's not happening today. It's not happening.
All right.
Want to see the team in action.
That's some good confidence right there. But let me tell you something. It's coming home, guys. It's coming home. I'm gonna pull a UK thing now. Just watch me.
I've never been more relaxed about something, honestly. I've never been more relaxed.
Well, okay, all right. You stay relaxed. I mean, I feel pretty confident about my squad here. We did a I mean, I can tell you, I pulled some personal best numbers on doing this, so it's gonna be interesting to see how this all turns out. But let's go ahead and start it off. So what we're gonna do today, guys, we're gonna take a picture. We're gonna take a peek, I should say, at the champions that were built for. We'll go one by one. We'll look at the champions that kind of have the gear that they put on, and then we'll look at a little clip of the run. So while we're talking about it, and we can kind of go over what we were doing, how we went about it, and then we'll reveal the winners at the end of that. It's a fairly straightforward approach here, so this should be, I think this will be pretty fun. Well, hey, you know what? Actually, why don't we start with you, Skratch? We can take a look at your squad first, the champions you have, kind of break down how you built them, and then we'll go into the run, I suppose, after that.
Maximum damage there on that center.
Maximum damage.
Yeah. We had to go maximum damage on him, actually. So I tried them on kind of like, I tried to give them Fury. I tried to give them
I'm ready.
Savage. So in the end, I used Savage because it was giving me a better result than the Fury gear.
With Sir Nick. Yeah. And I assume you had to do Immortal to make sure he wasn't getting the stun?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Which was not necessarily the biggest problem with him. That was mainly with Warcaster. He was the tricky pony there.
Speaking of which, there we go. Oh, you got double Immortal set on him.
Yeah, I think the main reason was because we had the cap on power at the 300k at the beginning, right? So
yeah,
he was half naked almost, like he had he had crit rate, but he didn't have enough firepower to heal enough when he was not proccing a War Master, and sometimes he was smashing the stun with one Immortal set, so I had to give him 2, and that kind of stopped me from giving him Savage. And I'm not gonna lie, I haven't tried to give him Savage afterwards because the speeds were pretty high. And how you guys know, I had no speed glyphs to make it happen on some of the champions. So I gave up on the Savage idea for him, so I kept him like this, in terms of Warcaster.
I know you still put up great numbers with this team because you got Draco here, who's beastly. In Relentless Draco, by the way.
Relentless Draco, Cruel set.
What's that, 5,900 attack or so?
Yeah, around 6k attack, 260 crit damage almost.
Whew.
Pretty fast though, 250 speed. That was kind of like the main issue there. I tried him actually with quite a few different things. He was the stun target, right? So he was constantly taking the stun. The masteries on him are designed in such a way that the stun gets removed time to time, and he gets to counter attack when he gets stunned, and that gets removed. So that drops in a bit of extra damage. I actually had cleansing accessories on him too. Then I stayed and thought about it. If I'm going to run that 15 turns, 16 turns, the stun, right? That's what's going to happen. I'm going to have an 8% chance to drop that stun out of the 16 tries that I have. And was only one roll on the attack on that ring. So then I gave him this ring, which had a quad roll on attack, and I was like, I'll pick the consistency over the RNG because I'm going to be ramping up more numbers, even if that cleanse gets, even if that stun gets cleansed a couple of times, I'll have better consistency for every single hit that I'm getting from him,
That makes a lot of sense. And then we got Ninja here. This is gross.
Relentless as well, this one.
Yeah. Another dirty Relentless.
6,000 attack Ninja with Relentless gear.
And Ninja can go crazy with that passive.
Whew, man. He's easily the most damage dealer for Clan Boss in the game. It's not even a question.
Such a slow speed as well, isn't it? You can just pump so much damage at that speed.
220, yeah. I mean, it's pretty slow. It's not the slowest, but it's pretty slow.
It's kind of like the normal speed like you would use in a Barrier comp, for example, on him,
Yeah. That's
I lost a bit of crit damage on him, unfortunately, because of the speed. I wanted to gain a bit of more attack. Cause I had him before at 300 plus crit damage, but the attack was like 500 less. And it seemed like he wasn't performing as good since his passive gives him more crit damage. And I feel like once you ramp up a lot of crit damage on your champion, it just feels like it's diminishing returns basically from it. So I had to lower that down and just get more attack on him. It felt a bit better,
That makes sense. It's hard once you get in the run. You find certain things out that you probably weren't expecting. I definitely learned some stuff during this. Then we got Seeker, last one, also in Savage, because If you can't be extra, why do it at
I mean-
all? Apparently, 4,400 attack. Good lord.
With a 1,000 base, yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I
Were
tried
any of
him
these
on,
like plus
on
builds?
Fury.
Were any of these +2, +3, +4, anything like that?
No, only Draco was a +1.
All right, real quick, I do want to see. I don't know if I can show this, but I'm going to try to show you guys the result of the poll that we just had. Can you see that? Just a little bit.
Wow, that's interesting, man.
Yeah. So it seems like
Hades team lasted the longest.
Yeah,
that's what people
I'm
think.
I'm confident on that as well, actually. So I feel like it's definitely a good number there. But I'm curious to see YST's
Although
team as well.
YST's team, I think it's going to last long.
Yeah.
I personally think I'm going to last the longest. Honestly.
Oh.
I'll be surprised. I'll
Bold.
be surprised.
She said.
Bold.
I'm sorry if you made it sound like that was funny. The way he said it was just funny. I had to.
we might last half the time, but it's double the power, right? Okay,
Yeah.
that's what it is. That's how it matters.
Let's put a clip of your run up here, Skratch, so people can kind of watch
Ooh, I'm
your
interested.
team. Now,
So
obviously, I held the score out, so we can't see that, but you can kind of see the damage people are doing. This is sort of in the middle of
okay.
everybody's run.
So basically, let me just walk you a bit through it. I partially manualed auto, right? So whenever Dracomorph was taking his turns, I was always stopping the auto and going on manual. There were different things that I wanted to approach there. If I have the debuffs from him, I want to make sure I'm landing their defense down and weaken while I don't have increased attack, rather than when I have increased attack, because then I'm missing on the damage that I can output. I want to make sure I'm landing the defense down and weaken before Ninja comes in with his A2, because that can cost me around 200-300k damage if I don't have all the debuffs on the boss. His A2 just max. So I wanted to have all that organized. I wanted to make sure I'm not landing too many poisons because of the relentless sets, always taking extra turns, filling the bar too much. I wanted to make sure I'm using the A1. And if you leave it on auto, even if I have defense down, weaken, he's gonna proc his A3 regardless, So if I get 3 turns, he's gonna go for the A3 instead of using the A1 or the A2. So I wanted to keep all that under control.
Guys, I'm
Is
crazy.
this normal for this
numbers,
type of
yeah.
comp that you're tanking the stun on, or would you normally have somebody in there to block the stun in this type of comp?
You can tank the stun like this, or you can have a
Tank it with
different
a
champion to deal with it. Yeah.
DPS, DPS too.
Damn, those numbers are big though, aren't they?
It is some crazy
Ninja's
number.
Ninja's A2 hit for like 700k.
Yeah, I
think.
see like nearly a
Almost-
million there.
Almost $1 million. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
I
pretty
think.
nuts,
I
man.
didn't even catch all the damage. I saw it.
And Dracomorph say one when the bar is full, hits for 340, 330, 300 plus K. Yeah.
So gross. So gross.
I think this is.
How's everybody else
This is
feeling about the
nuts.
runs right now?
Yeah, this is actually
I
insane
kind of,
damage right now.
honestly, I've been saying all week, I knew that Skratch was going to come out with these kind of numbers here. I just knew it.
Yeah.
Like, this is just insane. That ninja, almost 1 million damage in a turn. Get out of here, man.
Yeah, I think it's looking like 150, I think. From like 3 million per turn, maybe no, actually maybe less.
A lot,
I think it's
a lot of
about
damage.
I think it might
I think
be.
it's about
I think it
two-
might be 3 million a turn at least.
I think it's about 2.5.
All right. We're gonna.
Wow.
It's way more when the ninja has his A2, so yeah.
Yeah.
But
I guess
Alright.
it depends how many relentless procs you get and that type of stuff, doesn't it? That's a lot of RNG.
yeah,
damage
One thing I
spiking.
can tell you, I could have gotten around 3 million on top of what I got if the RNG gods were not so against me, with bad RNG. I went quite a few runs in, I knew that I can get more and more, but at some point I was like, that's it, I'm done. I'm gonna be happy with this. I reached this number. I'm not gonna go more because I'm gonna go crazy if I'm gonna spend 5-6 hours trying and not getting it,
I love watching these damage numbers and you're going bad RNG. I'm just gonna. I know everybody out there's like, this is bad RNG.
Yeah.
I would. Can I have bad RNG? That'd be great. Which champion's gonna do the maximum damage? That's the
Maximum
question. Maximum damage. I'm sorry. Actually, can you say it for us, ladies?
Hades, you have to say it.
Feel
Big
like
in
you
it.
need
Big
it.
one.
He needs to
Maximum
get ready.
damage.
He needs to get ready for
purple
it.
bandana.
Oh, do you want the red one? Don't know where that one is, guys. Sorry.
Do the biggest one you've ever done.
Maximum damage.
It's nice. It's nice. Quality. All right. Very cool. It's interesting to see. Oh, ooh, Ninja's getting a lot of the votes. Let's actually take a look at your team, HellHades, if that's all right.
I had damage dealers as well, right? I had damage dealers as well in my team. I don't see any of my champions in there.
I couldn't think of any to put in there.
Thanks.
All right.
Yeah,
Thanks,
so what? So
guys.
just talk through.
Anytime.
Talk
This
through
is
decisions or-
cyberbullying,
oh,
by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, just talk through a little bit of like what the champions you have, like why you chose them, that sort of thing. And maybe not that so much, but like how you built them. I guess that's really the question we're kind of going over here. Why you chose the builds you did and where you struggled with it and stuff like that.
Yeah, so Tatora is my stun tank, and basically got an ability that puts a shield out, which scales with damage. So Tatora was just straight up full damage build. I had positive affinity, so I only need the 85% crit rate. And I've got an immortal set because that's a stun target and I don't have a healer. I needed towards the late part of the run to just start to recoup some of the stun damage. So over the course of 6 turns, I actually get 3% a turn. It kind of just tops it back up if it's lacking. So yeah, this is just a full damage build basically. No accuracy needed. Straight up smacking.
And I'm assuming you went against Red Affinity due to the 85% crit rate I'm noticing there.
Yeah, so I've got four Spirit Affinity champions. So we've gone against Force just to try and scoop a bit more damage and to try and like reduce my player power, because obviously crit rate is quite a big number for player power. So
that's very true. We'll see if that made the difference or not here. Next champion you got Sandlash Survivor.
Yeah, so Sandlash is in Guardian set. Basically as a way just to alleviate some of the pressure from my ally protector and from the stun target. So it basically absorbs 10% of that damage.
Mm-hmm.
I put my best ring available on this one. The +4. I was running out of space for player power, so we went for a dodgy old ring. But again, I just went. So once I got to the right speed, it was just a case of stack defense, stack crit damage. Don't need accuracy in this build. It's literally just a case of she's there to extend buffs, basically.
Then we got Valkyrie here, and she's she got 7,000 defense on her, just a little bit over.
Yeah, so she's quite fast. Like
at that speed, that's not easy to do. Yeah,
it was my minimum for this tune that I built.
It's still 250 crit damage. Dear man, good God.
That's a crazy build. That's nice.
She does hit a little bit hard. Outside, she got some decent damage, and obviously she's mainly in there for the counter attack. But people don't realize she can hit, so we might as well give her a little bit of damage to make a hit.
Yeah.
Along the way, so pretty much every one of these builds, apart from Lydia that we'll see, has got crit damage gloves and like we just kind of pumped damage wherever I could. This is a +3 Valk, which so on the test server obviously I could plus without ruining my main account, which is quite fun to do. So yeah, stacked up a few extra stats through the +3, which was nice.
+3, that's interesting because that eats up a lot of player power too, though.
Yeah, well, this is it. I mean, before we raised the player power number, this is no chance that would have worked. And I actually had everybody with no jewelry on. So yeah, so that's
a problem.
Yeah.
All right. We got Lydia here.
Yeah, so my Lydia, another Guardian set. So 2 Guardian sets in the team. Again, just kind of, she doesn't really do that much damage. You'll see she's got 100% crit rate, but she doesn't have a lot of crit damage. She's mainly in there to keep the speed comp running. And the Guardian set, again, just kind of frees me up really to build more damage on the other champions. So she's just absorbing some of the pain and allows me to go long. That's the main reason. Her strengthen buff as well. People underestimate strengthen.
Yeah,
Straight up 25% less damage. That's what it is. Straight, like, it's such a good buff for these kind of long clan boss teams.
Pretty huge. But then, of course, we have the secret weapon here. Because you had taken Ursuga on the draft, but you subbed her out for Kyoku, my lovely lady Kyoku.
Even when we were doing the draft, I wanted Kyoku rather than Asuga, but I didn't know if I could speed tune her to work. And it was honestly me and Safira from HH Gaming. We were like back and forth sharing ideas around builds and team comps and tunes. And eventually we got one to work, but it kind of all of the buffs were out of sync. And then I started playing around positioning, and eventually I kind of found one. I was like, this feels good, except I got to manual part of the run, which is what I did. So I went full savage, Kyuku, and she is savage. What a champion this is. This is probably like one of my favorite champions right now. What a champion.
He is very solid.
The damage numbers are pretty damn sexy.
There's some nice damage in there, yeah.
So gross. All right, cool. Let's take a quick peek at the run that you got going on here. Also, we have the results of that poll, which is pretty cool. We got Ninja with well over 70% of the votes. People think he's going to do the most damage. Kyoku only 2%. Geomancer at 12. Turvold at 16. Be interesting to see the final results. Who's going to win that?
I think Turvold and Ninja will be very close. One or the other.
Mm-hmm.
You had a very good comp for Turvold there. Like you had a lot of champion with buffs. So I feel like he might overthrow my Ninja.
I built him pretty well. I feel pretty good about my build there. I'm excited to show you guys, but yeah. So here, this one you got going on, HellHades, you're manualing this, if that's correct.
No. So it's full auto. You can see the kind of blue tinge in the bottom left. So it's full auto all the time until we get to the point where Sandlashed needs to do an A1 before the stun. I turn it off now. I then do the A3 from Tatura and then go auto again until the next time the stun comes around. So it's semi-auto, but you have to concentrate 100% of the time. So it may as well be manual.
Tatura's actually doing some really nice damage here, from what I'm seeing.
Yeah,
like,
Tatura does so much work, not just damage, but also like the kit actually is brilliant. Like Tatura's kit is way underrated, I'd say, for Clan Boss. So good.
Veer is amazing as well, right?
Kyoku throwing good numbers there. I haven't built her for damage, to see her in action like that. And with a giant slayer, she can actually with the A1.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. You think about we've got counter attacks going every AOE, and that A1 does a lot of work. Yeah.
How much damage are you like? What are those 50, 60,000 per hit for her?
That's on counter attack. It's about 60. When it's normal hit, it's about 80.
70 plus.
Yeah.
70k a pop. That's nasty.
Triple hit. Yeah, it's juicy.
I wasn't expecting her to hit that hard because I never looked into her damage, honestly. And well impressed with her. I like it.
She hits incredibly hard. Wow.
The thing is as well, right? So the ability for for the ally protection, it's basically an unkillable team up until turn 50. Like her block damage alongside ally protection is insane. After turn 50, it gets a bit ropey. But up until 50, you're basically got an unkillable team.
It's pretty remarkable. That's really great. That's a great run. Another excellent, outstanding submission, going a little bit above and beyond with all the manualing for things. I don't know how the rest of us feel about that. How do the rest of us feel about that? Mr. HellHades doing his going all manual on us here, bringing out all the stops.
I think he definitely has potential to be at the very top there. I think we'll be very, very impressed with the damage that we're gonna see out of that team.
Yeah, I think I underestimated it as well a little bit, to be honest. That Kyoku, it's a bit scary to be. I forgot he's actually gonna bring her in, but that's a good secret weapon.
Yeah, I love the Kyoku build with Savage.
Yeah, it's
looks
great.
To be worth it.
God, yeah. I already want to go back in the lab and rework my team. All right. It's a good squad. All right. Let's see here. Let's go. What do you think, ColdBrew? Should we take a look at your squad?
Ah, sure.
All right.
I'm so interested in this one more than anyone.
Same. Let's see.
I need to see this.
ColdBrew made 5 subs.
Where is the popcorn? I need to get that.
Can we have a new poll here to see if people are changing their mind? Because everybody kind of like had no faith in ColdBrew. I'm sure he's gonna pop some crazy numbers right there.
I think ColdBrew's team's gonna surprise a lot of people. I think.
What poll do you want to see, buddy? Tell me what poll you want.
I was just joking. So.
Did ColdBrew make them 50? What people want to know.
Let's see. Oh, I gotta find your.
I think people will be surprised in the team. They didn't expect to see this one in. That's what I think.
I think that's reasonable. I think you got. I mean, you know, as I've said many times, you have Krisk, and I don't know how much more you really need than that. Truth be told, let's see if I can't find this window here. So there we go. There we go. We got you. So there we go. We got Godseeker Neri in your squad. I see you got her in Guardian set and Immortal. It's looking like some familiar strategies going on here.
Yeah. Immortal, because she needed the extra healing for herself, plus the Guardian helped a ton with that. Lots of speed and refresh accessories.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The reason for that, I just wanted to get as many possible turns for her healing as possible, and then also masteries. Although I didn't send a picture on those. It was steadfast mastery on almost all champions.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Just trying to
for the stun
tank it up.
targeting, because I was the only one without a block debuffs. Basically.
Oh right. So you really had to tank that stun.
I had to tank the stun, and I
Oh.
couldn't do affinity really because it will mess up the run. At least with the team that I ended up with.
Interesting.
And then you got Martyr here. Martyr's so good for clan boss, especially when you're going damage. You got lifesteal. I haven't seen lifesteal in years.
I forgot
Yeah,
what it looked like.
What is that?
I had to go lifesteal because remember Valkyrie was taken by HH and Brogrim was taken by YST, so I didn't have that protection where you just can survive with the healing from Godseeker, so I had to take lifesteal on 2 of my champions. And these are basically the best pieces I had. Like I didn't even know if I had any lifesteal, but good thing I did. And the 70%, by the way, it's intentional because I also had other champions. So
You're getting that crit rate bonus already from buffs. Yeah.
And I also had to get some extra accuracy because I needed to get that decreased attack also at all times. Don't just depend on Chris. So we talked on that during our call out together. But yeah,
Right.
and I think I got decent numbers out of her with this build, even with the lifesteal set.
I would hope so. You've got
A lot
like
of defense there.
6,200 defense. She's slapping.
She should, yeah.
And she's a +3.
Oof.
Ooh.
All right.
I wish I had a plus. Yeah, well,
All these guys complain about the player power. They're the ones that plussing their champions. See what's going on here. See what's going on here, guys.
I know, right?
I only did it after, by the way. I did it after because I knew it wouldn't.
I know.
And Lanakis, I think this was the surprise
Ooh, Toxic
sub
as well.
that I did in there. So Toxic Lanakis, because she doesn't need lifesteal. And she's got an A1 that heals if you not heals, applies a heal over time if you crit, and then refresh because you want to get her A2 going at all times. But the A3 was locked out on the AI, and
Because you didn't want a manual every run, so you locked that out.
Yeah, although I had to. You'll see on the run. I'll talk on that. But that was the idea. Toxic set was a lot in terms of damage.
Yeah.
And actually, the speed that you see there, I had it way higher on the actual run that I submitted, but I was trying to redo the runs, and that was the picture that I took. That the speed was a little bit higher on the actual team. I think it was 260.
It's a nice build, though. It's solid. Who else we got?
I
Of
wouldn't be
course,
by
Chris.
surprise that Lanakis.
Dude, Lanakis was not what I was expecting at all.
Mm.
At all.
Yeah, and then we have Krisk. I found Stalwart to be the best. I couldn't do Guardian, and I liked him with that. I couldn't go crit damage on him because he's the ally protector, and basically a lot of speed because he heals in that way with the not extra turns, with the turns that he takes, because of the heal over times that he applies to himself. So he had to be fast enough, and since it's a infinity buff team. like I had all the buffs at all times, so I didn't mind him being fast, so that he wouldn't lose any of the buffs. Basically,
Makes sense. Makes sense.
that's the idea for the whole team.
Just keep them buffs on. Keep them rolling.
And then we got Farrakhan. Again, the actual run, he was slower. I was trying things out again just to get more damage out of him. The problem with Farrakhan was that I also wanted him to be the one taking the stun.
So you had to build him with defense.
I had to build him higher defense because he needed to survive a little longer. So his damage is lower. Plus, he was going to be stunned. So his damage is not as high as the others because he also, when he does the ally attack as an example, his own ally attack, he doesn't go for the attack. Everybody else does. So you don't get the damage. His damage is really the HP burns and poisons, and maybe from the ally attack from Lanakis. So,
But more importantly, he also puts a crit rate and crit damage buff on your allies.
yeah, he helps everyone else do more damage. And the idea behind this team is infinity buffs, so I wouldn't have to worry about tuning it so much. It's all about just getting as much damage as possible from the team, and to be tanky enough also to survive.
I love it. All right, well let's take a peek at this thing.
And I had to do lifesteal because he was the stun target after a while. That part is only because of the Chris shield. I had points where the Chris shield would survive in terms of a buff, as being a buff, until turn 15, just because of all the extensions and the damage wasn't enough. But you can see that pretty much all the buffs after a point were on at all times. And I actually locked out Chris A3 because he does it regardless. So if there's a speed buff on, he'll still do the skill. And I didn't want him to miss basically a turn of an A1 skill. So I had to keep an eye also on the team to make sure that the buffs are indeed infinite, so nothing was left out. And this was really the run, just Farrakhan getting the stun at all times because he's tanky enough with the passive to do like a mitigation of that.
Oh yeah.
By
Actually a cool team, yeah.
He splits basically the damage he takes. And the only issue was a little bit later on when the damage is just so high that Godseeker would start to get stunned instead.
That looks like such a fun team. Like, look at all those continuous heals and stuff. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of this thing.
I was surprised at Lanakis. Like, I didn't realize that she doesn't need the lifesteal just because of all the heal over time that she would have, and just getting those turns just fully heals, and you don't have to worry about her getting stunned either.
Yeah.
Although
That's
I did
cool.
go
Like, very like outside the box thinking on this one. I love it.
Yeah.
Actually.
No, exactly. This is such a different approach. I mean, Lanakis is one of those champions I wish I had so I could play around with her because she's so good. But in this kind of team, just I don't know. I love it. It's kind of cool too to see a successful Infinity team without a Brogni.
I'm curious how long it lasts. Actually, very curious to see that at the end. We're gonna see that as well, I guess. That would right.
We will see that in the end. You're right. Or YST, should we take a picture at your team?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. We'll take a gander. This is the team I've been most curious about because the approach to it I thought was really, really smart. There's the squad. So we got Underpriest Brogni here in a Guardian set.
So the kind of thought process behind this one, and people finally can see that it is a 1-to-1 ratio team. So I am the only one here going at 1-to-1.
171 speed? Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
So that allowed me to, well, I actually did go 2-to-1 at first, and I switched my team up because I found this one a lot more better in the long run. But basically, most people are probably looking at his attack thinking, why is it so low? And the main reason for it is I was kind of relying on the shield that he's putting on, not the one that he's extending, because that's what was allowing me to survive and tank the stun turns. So that's kind of the reason for the low attack there. 85% crit rate, just where I want it, and enough crit damage to smack a little bit. In that Guardian set, of course, because he needs to absorb the damage of my Geomancer with him being the off affinity. So that was kind of the process there.
Wow, that's nice. Let's see what we got. Geomancer right here. You got the lifesteal on him. I'm assuming, like you're saying, because stun target, right?
Yes, so people probably thinking it is post nerf of the Geomancer where he was reflecting with the Giant Slayer. You might have seen it in like other teams and stuff. And the main reason for this was I wasn't dying from AoE attacks. It's really interesting. I was dying from the single target attacks on the stun turn, but I was waiting for counterattack masteries to keep me alive for an extra 3 turns. So after the stun, you get that deterrence. If that didn't proc, I had to reset the run at certain specific points. So lifesteal was the only reason why I could get to the turn limit where I was.
Wow. Now I noticed you have a lot of HP and a lot of defense. Obviously, I mean, surprisingly, I guess you could say.
Yeah,
but
the HP wasn't intentional, but I was just trying to maximize defense, and it just happened to be a lot of HP percent substats.
Because you know, it's hard, the stun target especially. Yeah, it's a HP hit. So usually I actually try to keep my HP low on my stun target, but
I tried that at first, and I was dying 10 turns earlier than with this build.
Wow.
So it was really interesting for me. I played around with it a lot of times, and upping the HP. Well, I was actually upping my defense with the HP, so it's kind of like a hand-in-hand thing. So yeah, it worked out good for me anyway.
Really interesting how many people are using lifesteal in this, huh? Got your Riho here with a nice stalwart set.
Yes, so this was the champion, for people that's not aware, that I swapped out for Deacon Armstrong. And it kind of... She plays a really good role here because she's got decreased crit rate, which is allowing me to not get those bad crits. She has the drop defense, she has the drop attack to help out my Taragi. And she also has the AoE heals to keep like my ally protection champions, just in case they don't fully feel their HP, just a bit more higher. One thing I would say is, if I was to change this build in any way, I would go Guardian set again, but I just ran out of gear of Guardian.
That
so
makes
I had to
sense.
go with Stalwart, yeah.
And then Taragi the Frog here.
Yep, so he's
Guardian
also in a
as well.
Guardian set, yeah. And pretty much just the accuracy and as high HP as I could in a Guardian set. And I mentioned on your channel earlier in the week that I'm not a big Doom Tower farmer, so I was really limited on it. And it wasn't a gear set that I could farm overnight or anything like that. It's whatever I had on the account is what I had to make work. So 5-star, 6-star, rare pieces, it doesn't matter. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then we got Tyrant last.
Oh yeah.
Yep. So once again, another Guardian set. We're trying to absorb as much damage as possible on our stun target. And Tyrant played an amazing role in this team. A lot of people do underestimate him, but at damage mitigation, the increased defense and the ally protection in one skill is just amazing. And then he's got that A1 to heal himself back up pretty much every single turn because we're blocking off that A2. So he was and he deals some really nice damage as well. It's not too bad.
Yeah, that's nice. Interesting. Wow, great. All right, let's take a quick peek at your run here. We get an idea of how this can work. Wow, what an interesting idea. So you have so much HP burn in there, though. Do you have any issues like with Riho or
no? So what's happening here is we're blocking off the A2 with Tyrant, so we don't have to worry about that burn.
Right.
And Geomancer's burn is a 3-turn duration, and my Rio Bone Spear is going after the Geomancer, and hers is only a 2-turn. So as long as you don't have that mastery that extends debuffs, like the durations, she always gets resisted from Geomancer's burn, because it's a less duration. So the only burn that ever does go up is Geomancer's. So it never gets swapped out.
That's perfect.
So it's pretty much
Did you try this on different affinities as well? And or did you always think Spirit is where I need to be?
I tried every single one, and this was the best, 100%.
Interesting. Well, I mean, I guess it's weak if it forces the stun to go to Geomancer every single time.
Yeah, so I wanted to force the stun onto that Geomancer, and pretty much those poisons from Taragi is really like impactful as well. Like they really ramp up over time. So he does a nice chunk as well.
So with this team, you had issues like what? You died on the stun, or you died during the AoEs?
The AoEs was never my issue. It was the stun turn followed by the AoE 1, and if Geomancer doesn't do a counterattack in the very later rounds, then pretty much he gets one shot and then it all just goes downhill from there. But as long as he counterattacks or does like a nice little War Master hit straight after the stun, then it's completely fine.
Yeah, it looks decent. Pretty good there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely nice. 1-to-1 ratio team. I did try a 2-to-1. I tried a 4-to-3 on some champions. I tried the Deacon route, and this one was just the best in terms of pure raw damage.
I like it. All right.
Yeah, look at the amount of numbers ticking on the clan boss when the clan boss hits. That's what's quite fun about this one.
Yeah, when the
all the
H burns
reflects,
on.
the Giant Slayer procs, the
honestly,
War Master procs.
I was really scared of this team because obviously Brognimancer has been around for a long time, right? But the issue is, I was taking a big gamble here because Geomancer does not reflect a lifesteal like pre-nerf.
Yeah.
So I'm literally surviving until Geomancer dies, pretty much. That's just how the team goes. But I was really scared coming into this that I couldn't survive as long as I did. But it was, even though that he's still not reflecting with that lifesteal, I think it's pretty nice. I like it.
So this is the team I brought. Now the big change I made on my team was because I drafted Runekeeper Dazdirk, I actually brought in Arbiter. When we do the runs, I'm going to show you guys a little snippet of me using Runekeeper because the cool part about that was an affinity friendly comp. So we actually, because when Spirit came up, I was like, well, I gotta at least show this, right? That's what I was trying first, and I wasn't sure if Arbiter was going to be better or if Runekeeper was going to be better, but Arbiter was pretty clutch for me because Runekeeper loses. He has three skills, and only one of them is an attack. So he's basically getting 4 attacks, even on 3-turn cooldown, a 3-1 ratio. He's only getting 4 attacks, compared to Arbiter getting 6 in a clan boss cycle. So it was a little bit helpful. Put her in toxic, kept poisons up. And then the most important thing though was she kept the weaken buff on, or debuff on, the clan boss, because I was relying on Turvold for that and he's really inconsistent. So that actually made a pretty big difference. So and then of course we had Demitha with a lot of speed. You notice the lack of jewelry on her. All I needed was
90% crit damage. Nice.
Look at that. Just focusing on the important things.
She only gets 1 attack per turn, and I was just like, it's not worth it, and it was jumping my player power just over the limit. So I was like, well, it's okay. We can eliminate that. Yeah, 328 speed was what I needed. Fushan, we had the aura, obviously. I would be able to build him pretty good. Almost, what was that, 57, almost 5800 attack, or 6800 attack, 6700 attack. Obviously I kind of messed up on the crit rate. I realized I probably could have taken the other mastery instead of the crit rate 5% afterwards, but got enough accuracy. The big thing, I had to put him down the support tree. I was doing a lot of testing with like different masteries, and the support tree was great because it helped extend that decreased defense, because when that fell off, our damage like just dropped like a rock. So that was kind of a massive thing to do to help extend that. And then he was taking the stun anyway, so it didn't really matter. He wasn't getting any counterattacks out of that anyhow. Had Mashald also in a toxic set, and I needed the two of them.
Speed.
So fast.
140
it's too
speed.
Fast, too furious.
That is
Well, it must have
crazy.
been harder to get slower than it is to get faster. I can imagine how hard that was.
I mean, like a give and take, right? I mean, I have him almost at 300 crit damage with like 6,000 attack, so it wasn't. There's definitely a trade-off there. But yeah, most of my gear has speed on it, so it is kind of a challenge. I had to be real careful what I was glyphing, because if I glyph something and I realize, oh, we're gonna have to go a different direction, I was totally screwed on that. I was like, there's no going back. I can't go back down once I go up. So that was definitely challenging. But yeah, I was pretty happy with that.
I need to see how hard this Michelle slaps, man.
Yeah, he will snap. I reckon his
Yeah.
A3 is gonna hit for 400 to 450k.
So
The
around
A1
there.
hit's nice also.
the last thing just about Mashald really quick is my best run came against Force Affinity, but I only got 1 run in on it. So even though this is the Mashald build I had, I really would have been able to, drop a little bit crit rate and pump some numbers a tad.
It's
Just
still a
like,
solid build though.
yeah, I'm not upset. Yeah, so this is Turvold. You
I
can
won the poll, yeah.
Look at congratulations, ColdBrew, on getting that. Hands
Damn,
down.
he's so slow as well, huh?
Yeah, only 149 speed, I want to say.
Wow, that's madness. Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah, that's solid actually. Yeah, very solid with those stats. Yeah, 7.5 attack. Yeah?
Great damage.
Yeah, 7,400 attack.
Oh, so you
So
left
I
accuracy in his build, did you? Even though you had a weaken coming in.
Even though it just had accuracy in the build.
Oh, really? Right.
I didn't put it on or anything. I think the amulet, the Great Hall, that's half the battle, and then I just had pieces with it on. But yeah, just he slaps pretty ridiculous. So yeah,
Nice.
Yeah.
it's fun. You guys are gonna enjoy these numbers here.
Is 8-3 a million? Easy.
Didn't get to 1 million, but got pretty high. So like I said, this is Spirit, right? Just kind of showing you. Runekeeper had a very similar build as Arbiter, just toxic gear, and would basically go and cleanse the debuff, and then Arbiter or Demitha would cleanse the stun itself. With her A2, just reduce the duration on that. So this isn't great because Fushan's weak affinity. We don't land the decreased defense all the time.
Right.
And so the numbers we can put up aren't nearly the same. But I did a run on Void affinity first. That was like my first thing. And then I did a run on Force affinity. And my damage jumped like 15 million, which was just insane.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, it all comes down to that mastery. So that one mastery that when the clan boss is under 40% HP, you get an extra 8% healing, or 8% damage, and like that was damage, huge. So I that was something I didn't know going into this. So you can see here, this is the force run, and you'll be able to see the hits from
That turbo is
850.
smacking.
850 from Turbo is what I saw.
Yeah. He's gonna throw big numbers if everything's gonna line good to have weakened defense down and the increased attack when he smacks. He can throw solid damage like that, yeah.
Assuming all the debuffs are on there, he has about 6 buffs on himself for that A3 hit, and he puts somewhere between 900 and 800,000 on that A3 alone, plus another couple hundred on the A1, which is pretty nice.
Yeah,
I reckon you're gonna cut me by 10 million. Seeing this,
we'll see.
So what's going on here in terms of who's on a 2-for-1 and who's on a 3-for-1 here?
So basically how this works is, I think it's Arbiter that goes first, right? And then Turvold comes in, and then Mashal gives us the increased speed buff, and Demyth extends. And so now everybody has increased speed for the full fight. After that, Arbiter comes in and boosts everybody so that you get that turn meter boost so that they can get their third turn first, specifically Demitha and Arbiter. Everybody's on 2 turn duration except for Demitha and Arbiter. That's what makes Mashald so good and makes this comp so good. If we had somebody, like an Eris or somebody else on a 3-turn cooldown with that speed buff, I don't know, like this. I think the speed requirements I would need would be a lot higher to make this work, because then you're trying to boost multiple people. So, this is not for everybody. But I after doing this, I was like, maybe I should change my team to this. This seems fun.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Damn, Fushan's hitting as well, though, to be fair. Like, Fushan's putting work in.
Yeah, when he gets those multi-strikes, it's just dropping it.
I don't want to join Arbiter in here. Arbiter looks so cool in his team.
She's not bad. She doesn't deal crazy damage, though. I mean, I have like 220 crit damage on her. She's, barely scraping 100k, so she's not going to be great for that. But the weaken is really huge, and the turn meter boost and the increased attack, right? So that's the team. That's the squad.
You disabled the A2 also, right?
For Fushan, absolutely. And for Arbiter as well. Yeah, it's just the A3 and just the A1.
Yeah.
And so,
yeah, 3 DPS is solid, though. That's solid with 3 of them.
I felt like it's pretty good.
It is.
We got one last important poll to put up here. And so
who's going to win it?
Yeah, exactly. Who's going to win this thing? You've seen all the teams. You've seen the runs.
Let's go, guys.
Who do you think?
I'm scared.
Can I get more than 7 votes?
Honestly, out of all of the teams, the one that surprised me the most was Hades. It was hitting a lot harder than I thought it was going to. Damage per turn. So, it's interesting.
I agree. I was not expecting
Yeah, I didn't
those
expect
numbers
that
exactly.
because when I was seeing his team at first, I was like, "Where is the damage?" But then, apart from Valkyrie,
Yeah, I was
of
thinking the
course,
same.
but
Sure.
seeing it close, yeah, it's pretty impressive. There's some good numbers there.
Definitely, all the way around. What did you guys like? One of the things I wanted to do before we actually get into showing the final results here, what were some of the things that you guys learned along the way that you weren't expecting? Because I definitely learned a couple of things along the way, personally, but I kind of want to hear from you guys what you might not have known going into this that you do know now.
I'm gonna start first, then if nobody.
Sure.
I learned that next time when we're gonna do a thing like this, I'm gonna subtract Turvold before anyone else gets him.
I could have said the same.
Okay.
Big lesson learned right here, boys.
Interesting.
I guess for me, like some reconfirmation of stun targeting, stun manipulation. You know, I ran my team probably with 3 different ways before I ended up landing on that way, and each of them I was directing the stun on somebody else, and I was able to manipulate my buffs to do that. So things like, you know, what trumps affinity, what trumps increased defense, and in the end it was having actually Tutora Rhymehide just veiling everybody else so that it was absolutely going to be the Tutora that got a stun hit. There's actually we've played this game for a long time, and it's cool to still, you know, either reconfirm your knowledge or find new things out about Clan Boss or about some of the stuff around that. So it's actually very complex. Like the whole stun targeting is extremely complex, and some buffs that the Clan Boss cares about, some he doesn't. Like it's just interesting getting back into it.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. You know, been doing this game for over 2 years. I can't believe I actually learned something I didn't know before. And because this is all I do. so I was kind of shocked. ColdBrew, do you figure anything new out that you weren't aware of before?
Not that I wasn't aware, but you know, it's just reminding myself of the non-unkillable teams, right? And working with a team like that, and like how many things you need to actually be able to survive quite long with a team like that, and to get damage out of them. But then, yeah, my team was just a really fun team, really. Wasn't as speed tune as you might think. It was more about just getting as much as I can out of the champions that I picked for this draft.
That makes sense. I love the Lanicus choice too. I thought that was a real
Yeah, it made. I think it made sense in the end. With the extension that I could do with 3 champions basically, and then the ally attacks, like 2 champions with ally attacks plus all the damage potential that I could get out of them.
Mm-hmm. That's really, I like that choice a lot. I was a big fan.
It's interesting seeing all of the different builds. Like there's actually a lot of different gear set choices depending on the type of teams that people were building out as well. You know, it wasn't just like we're going to rip all of our best arena gear off of every champion. Actually, I barely touched any champion that I had built for an arena setup because it just doesn't suit Clan Boss, a lot of those builds. So, you know, it kind of, I think it's one of the best things in Raid actually, like the different gear sets which you can kind of adopt to do a different job. It's actually really fun.
I was shocked we had multiple lifesteal going on.
Yeah, definitely.
Thought it was dead.
Oh yeah, I had to do lifesteal. Like it's not that I think I was the only one that had to do it. Really, everybody else had a way to protect for 50 turns, and only after that it would hurt. Really.
What about you, YC? Anything kind of come to mind that you weren't aware of before, or anything new like you learned along the way?
I think first and foremost, I learned how to have fun with a Clan Boss team for the first time in a while. That was pretty nice. Like learning how to tune Deacon properly. That was one thing that I always had issues with in the past, like trying to tune that extra turn and stuff. So yeah, in that process, that was one of the main things for like future. Secondly, was seeing the damage potential of a 1-to-1 team in this day and age, and really trying to push the limits to see what is possible for players that can't go 2-1, that can't go 4-3, and still seeing some great results, right? So yeah, just trying to mid-max and trying to see what the potentials are was one thing that I was learning throughout this.
I mean, for me, it was that the difference that affinity can make. That extra damage my team was able to do was just like, I was like, it completely opened my eyes, totally changed my run. As from where I thought I might be to where I actually ended up going. And I thought that was just super fascinating. For me, that was like the biggest knowledge opener there. Well, cool.
Well, what is it? Is 15% to going up to what? 25 or 30%? It's like a massive number, right? For that damage difference. So it can ramp a lot on affinity.
Yeah.
If I was able to hit spirit on mine as well, that would have been amazing. I would have definitely gotten like easily 15 plus more million from it, you know. But unfortunately, my team was not able to do spirit because I had no cleanser in there, you know, to work with the decreased speed.
You needed a Runekeeper. I understand.
I think I'm supposed to think maybe more of them Man-Eater and try to make it in such a way that he always lands the unkillable on that time. But you see, that's something for next time. For next time.
Right.
I'm really interested to know, Cold Brew, what was your player power? That was the one thing that I really wanted to know throughout this whole thing.
It wasn't that high.
What did you cap out?
337k for the actual run, but then I started changing gear to try to get more damage. I managed to go to 347, 342. I tried different builds, but the run that I submitted was 337, I think. Deadwood knows because I showed it before I went into the fight, but yeah.
You guys will be happy to know that I capped at 298k. So
nice. Actually,
YST the
I
real
had
winner here.
I had Kayuku in Stalwart gear, changed her into Savage gear, and it actually dropped her player power like 15k. Even as a similar build, Stalwart to Savage, massively reduced her player power. Unless something just happened with like maybe I had less resistance or something, but felt like it was just a straight swap, and Savage needed less player power somehow.
Oh, by the way, I empowered my Krisk, my Lanakis, my Martyr, and then the other two were epics, right? So,
That's
Were you just
great.
pulling shards, Cold Brew?
no, I
You
had
spend
them.
all week
I had
pulling
them already.
shards.
I had them. I did pull some shards, but I didn't get anything.
did all of you guys empower champions? Like, did everyone have empowered champions here?
I did not.
You did.
I only have them on the test
one.
server. Only on the test server. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't sacrifice my second Krisk on the main account.
Okay.
I was gonna say like I loved how I've seen everyone. I was doing my runs and just seeing everyone just pulling shards there, like Cold Brew, and especially YST. After we had that underdog sort of stream on HellHades' channel the other day, we went back to the test server and YST was like just dropping legendaries. Kendra tons of different legendaries, but none of them the ones that he needed, you know?
I'll tell you what the reason for that was. I looked into my faction Guardians and I recently used my dupes for a Tomb Lord. So when I was looking at my dupes, I was like, maybe I can try get a dupe dwarf to try get an extra 10 attack on my Underpriest Brogni or something like that. I wasn't really looking for the empowerments as such, just trying to up a bit on the dwarfs, but it didn't play out too well, did it?
Okay. Let's go ahead. I think it's time. I think people have been waiting long enough. I'm going to put a little poll out there just so we can see what people actually think of the squads themselves. Most interesting team that we put together. But it's time.
I gotta win this. Oh no, I gotta win this.
But I think it's time to see who won, see who lost, crown the winner, and embarrass ourselves.
Can you show the team power from everyone or no? While you're
I don't think I didn't clip that. There's so many things I was trying to put together for this. I did not get that. But everybody stayed under 350,000. I was like a couple hundred below that. I think.
Same.
Yeah,
like
right there
below. Yeah.
There's a one point where I glyphed myself over it. I was like, oh shoot! Now I gotta drop something. But yeah. So let's go ahead. Let's take a look. Ooh, YST is winning the poll. I like it. All right, so in 5th place, last in the Clan Boss Draft competition, forever to be saddled with that title.
Oh man,
is Mr. I gotta reduce it back down to side.
Oh,
Mr.
Martin!
Cold Brew.
Oh, you broke
Unfortunately.
100.
Look, he broke 100. I was gonna say we gotta give him a round of applause, chat.
Yep.
Yep.
GG's
I'll
in
do
chat
one.
for Cold Brew. He broke 100 with that team. No shield to keep him alive like a Valkyrie or anything like that.
Yeah.
No
Shield.
broke me.
Mm.
So I think he's a solid damage for that team, bro. Honestly, 100
That's
million
really
is very good.
Yeah,
That's
one
impressive.
ally protect,
Yeah.
one ally protect, and lifesteal set, no block debuffs, no
Lifesteal
affinity.
set.
So yeah,
I'm actually really impressed with that damage too. I
It's
did not
actually
expect
insane
that.
damage. It is
Yeah.
insane damage with that lineup.
I was not expecting
Yeah.
it, honestly. Yeah.
I love it, dude. Martyr with 33 million damage. Yeah, she slaps.
oh yeah,
wow.
she hits quite hard.
How many turns was this? Do you have that info?
Yeah.
54,
Can we?
55, something like that.
I don't have that up here. I have the times though. You can see it lasted 22 minutes in length.
What did
so
you
you
say,
don't have-
Cobra? About 50?
You can check it from the video yourself. Got you.
Yeah, I could have it.
Yeah, we can
That's
check
fair
it
play,
ourselves because we gotta help that with Jedi here. We're gonna check
Little
the
bit.
turn limit for our turns and share it with the chat. 'Cause
Yeah,
we had
thank
that
you.
poll as well. So let's give him a hand of help here. Seems like he's a bit losing the control here. He's getting emotional.
What? No, I'm fine. I'm fine. Stop talking to me. No, we're good.
54 turns. Yeah, for mine, 54 turns.
That's impressive, though.
That's not. Yeah, that's good. It seems like such a squishy team to me. Is the thing, right? With Lanicus and Godseek, or
Quite squishy.
Farrakhan.
Quite squishy.
you know, be able to put out that kind of number is very good. Well, let's move on to number 4. Also losing, but slightly better than the previous submission, and it
Only
is YST in his damage mitigation squad.
It's a big
I'm
number
s-
as well, though.
I'm still really happy with this, honestly, because I don't think anybody knew that Geomancer can still perform like this without reflecting lifesteal. And I think a 1-to-1 ratio team, no max faction guardians on any of my champions, no empowerments, my Great Hall is not max on crit damage or anything, and I had 50,000 less player power. It shows that anybody can make a team like this and do a really good damage run on Ultra Nightmare. So that's kind of my biggest takeaway from this, and I'm really proud of the damage. The one thing I will say is, if my Riho Bone Spear was in a Guardian set, I think I'd be on 114, an extra 7 million. But I'm happy. Yeah.
Go on.
The turns that I was on, for everyone asking, I reached 114 turns. So
Wait,
pretty cool.
Wow.
Is that 20 minutes or is it 80 minutes?
20 minutes.
Oh yeah, it's because it's a 1-to-1, right?
It's a
yeah.
1-1 team
Like-
with no counterattack.
Yeah.
So, and there was no counterattack in there as well. So
Yeah.
it just shows the kind of power of a team like this, right? It's really cool.
I knew that team would be able to get more than 100. Two
I
that
didn't.
I got. That's why I kept on trying.
I honestly didn't think it was possible for about the first day. I kind of gave up on around 80 million. I went back and I tried to make another 2-to-1 team and I got around 90 million. And then I thought, if I really ramp up the Guardian set, I can really do this. And that's where the 107 million came through.
Really good, man. Really good. That's nuts damage.
That's insane for a 1-1 ratio team. Like
Yeah.
that's I've one keyed with a 1-1 ratio team, but like barely. Like 71 had a good run. You know, like that's stupid numbers. Wow.
Yeah, it just shows the potential. And I think for anybody out there right now that is thinking, oh, I don't have a Rio Bone Spear, but I have the rest, Venomage is a very good substitute for Riho. So if you got a Venomage, it's not going to perform as well as this, but I still think you'd get a very comfy wonky if you build them very similar.
Also, like, considering 2 champions here did like 7 and 6 million. Like, no damage. Those 2 really, over that length of time, did very little damage.
Yeah, it's
Like,
weird. 'Cause
that's actually insane.
There's a
Riho
lot
was
of room
actually
to build.
built in crit damage though. Like it was pretty optimized. It wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
So they don't hit too hard, I don't think.
I mean, you look at this team and you go, "Oh, there's so many ways you could, make changes and like improve on it." You know, it just I would love to bring a martyr into the squad.
Oh, yeah,
Love to get
guys.
counterattack. You know.
I see people in the chat asking. Yes, it is full auto after turn 1, but yeah.
That's phenomenal. By the way, YSC, you won the poll for most interesting team.
Oh, I'll take something. I'll give you guys the Genzin mask. I just want to say thank you everybody for giving me the which team is the most interesting in 2022. So, Lord Genzin does help you. Well, he thanks you, and yeah, we appreciate it.
Hilarious.
I think it was Lord Jingwon that thanks you.
Yeah, where's Jingwon, man? Jingwon would have carried this.
I've had to lock him up.
Jingwon.
He's a bit too loud today. I had to put him in the cellar.
All right. So we got to get to number 3 here. Third on the list. We're down to 3 people. HellHades, Skratch, myself.
I feel like this is gonna be tight though. I feel like this is gonna be tight together.
Who's going to be the final? The top 3. Third place, bronze medal, goes to Skratch, AK-47.
Ooh.
With
Wait, what?
45.23 million.
That is shocking.
Insane.
No way. He came
I'm curious to see HellHades' numbers now with that team.
Hades, you
Very
are
curious.
a little sneaky guy. You are. My God.
Look at that smile. Look at that giggling.
Top 2, baby.
Oh man.
All right, Hades,
He was wearing the maximum damage bandanas throughout the whole thing.
So,
wow.
I think the most
Look at
interesting
that
thing
Ninja
about this,
damage.
Ninja, 62 million damage. That's
Oof. Yeah.
that's insane. I mean, what did Geomancer get? It's pretty close to that, like 48, I think it was.
Geo got close to
40.
48 million, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, that's a pretty stacked Ninja. I mean, you did 100 million with Ninja and Draco by themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's something.
That was my whole team.
Wow.
I'm gobsmacked. I really thought Skratch had this entire week, and this is.
I've told you guys it's gonna be tight. Like HellHades' team survived a lot, right? We're gonna see that in a second when he's gonna tell us the 10 limit, and he had pretty good damage. Like that Kyoku slapped pretty good, and DeadwoodJedi had 3 DPSers. I knew that I'm not gonna win this. Like I know a few things about Clan Boss, and when I saw DeadwoodJedi's team, I knew that he's gonna be over it. I wasn't sure about HellHades' team though, you know. But seems like it managed to break it. So I'm very curious now. I'm very intrigued to see the total damage.
Okay, can we all guess right now who the top 2 is going to be before we do this?
Sure.
I think that would be really interesting.
Sure.
So I personally think Deadwood's going to come a couple million after Skratch, and I think Hades is going to win. Personally, what do you guys think?
I think it's gonna be Deadwood winning. Fortunately, Hades.
You think Deadwood's going to win?
It's 3 DPS, man. Yeah, it's 3 DPS. I feel like HellHades will have around 5 million tops on top of what I have here. I might be wrong and surprise us with a few more than that, but I feel like he's going to be.
Here's an interesting question. I'll put a prediction in the chat. People can vote DWJ or HH. Who do you think is going to win?
I think because Hades, I really believe that if I was to guess anyway, from seeing those numbers he was doing, damage per turn, I really think it's around the 160. I don't know.
I will tell you guys, it is very close. It's very close.
Okay.
I like it. I like it more because it's also a non-unkillable, you know?
That
I'll smack too.
Unkillable versus killable. That's what it's down to now.
exactly.
Tutor Rhymehead is a beast. My God.
See, the manual worked, you know?
Yeah.
Playing with manual worked for him.
He's so proud of himself.
Pressing
Look his.
E.
It was sort of a quick summary, but it looks like most of the people are choosing UHH, but it's close, 54 to 46. It's a tight one here.
Let's see.
All right, number 2 in the first ever Clan Boss draft is DeadwoodJedi with 69 million, which means the winner of the first Clan Boss draft ever. With a score well over 170 million is HellHades.
There we go.
Wow.
Congratulations, sir.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Very nice. And you reached the 10 limit too. That's awesome, bro. That's
told you guys.
That's crazy, man.
I
A
knew
fun
it.
Little thing here. the turn limit on the test server is not the same as the main server, right? Isn't it like 1,500 on the main server?
I think it's always 1,000, right? If I'm
Well,
not...
it
I
used
think
to
it
be
is.
1,000. It used
I
to be
think it's gone
1,000
up.
turns,
I think
and
it
it
is
went up
gone
to
up.
1,500 ages
Yeah,
ago.
I think I've got room to go. But
Oh,
yeah,
boy.
this was...
That
I wasn't
is
dead.
crazy.
It's
Still
Banana
going to rock.
Jam's fault.
Tatura 47 and Kyoku with 52 million, right? Am I saying that right? Because you're not on full
52 and
screen.
42. Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
nice, very nice.
So,
Well done.
Hades, when you got to the 1,000 turn limit, did you still feel like you had a long way to go, or was it getting a bit?
I reckon I would have put another 7 mil on tops.
You don't think you would have got to 200 now?
No, I
was
don't think so,
getting-
because I was getting pretty slapped. Actually, I'll tell you what, Sandlashed with the clutch save on Tatura,
Ally protection.
like almost every stun.
Yeah,
Because I wasn't ally protected on a stun. Sandlash
Yeah.
steps up, she's like that. Don't worry, I've got you. And it
What's
just
it
lets me do
called?
another full rotation. Yeah,
What's
it's
on the passive again? The passive cooldown.
I
it
think
three
it's
turns?
like 4.
4 turns.
So very much you go 6 turns before the next stun comes round.
That
Um,
is.
You know what's
that's-
funny here as well? No healing. 0 healing for the whole
Yeah.
run. It's madness.
Valkyrie.
That's
MVP.
what's
Yeah,
wild.
this is- and you reached how many turns? 130 turns around there. You went that far.
It's like 87 because I've got counter attack, 2 for 1. Yeah, 87 it was.
Mm,
How come it made you reach the turn limit at that then? Oh wow.
It's every time you take an action. So like counterattack, I don't think actually factors into
Counter
it.
attack doesn't count. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I'm
but
saying.
every time you click a skill, basically that counts, right?
Exactly.
You know what? This is what I
Unless-
love about Go and Scratch.
Unless what they've done, because they changed the turn limit, right? Unless
Yeah.
they took out the turns from the clan boss in himself, which that might be a thing that they've done then.
That could be a thing. Yeah, definitely the clan boss turns were counting before at least. So
Yeah.
this is, I mean, an outstanding result. An outstanding result. Shocked
Absolutely,
me.
yeah.
When I got my preview, I was like, "What? I thought."
Kayuku, Christ, Kayuku slaps. Kayuku is just such
Yeah,
a good
so
champion
much
if you can
damage.
get it to work.
You're welcome
Oh,
for
wow.
that suggestion. You're welcome for that.
Yeah. But a real pain in the ass to use.
Yeah, accurate. See, I thought
bet.
I did this force run right before it reset the void, and I was like, "Oh crap! I guess I got this in the bag. No problem. 169 million. Who's gonna top that? Of course, HellHades did, but
That's impressive. Can we just speak about that one? Because you just
Hold on,
kind of.
Turvold out damaged Ninja?
Yeah.
oh
right?
yeah. By the way,
Yeah, he did. I knew that
Ah.
he was gonna do it, yeah. Because he had a good team with a lot of buffs, man. Like we had Mashal, he had Arbiter, he had Demeter with tons of buffs, extending them and always having buffs. I would expect that to see out of it, yeah.
yeah, Turvold was
It's awesome.
beastly.
And actually, Fu Shan as well, 42.
Yeah.
It's just such a shame that Demitha, for all of her amazing skill,
5 million damage.
no damage.
where are you? Step up, Demitha.
She's comfortable in a support role. She's just setting everybody else. She's a goalkeeper on the
was-
team.
She was just chillaxing there. She was like, I'm coming. I'm coming to do the hard work while you guys are doing the rest,
She's like, my shoulders are heavy from carrying everybody, but that's okay. No worries. Yeah, it was. I was shocked. I mean, well done, Hades. Honestly, I mean, first off, for taking the effort to manual your run, that's above and beyond. But also like that's darn impressive, especially. And I think what's great about this whole experience is that we've seen a variety of different teams, right? We got to see a 1-1 ratio team and still compete. We got to see Krisk in a 2-1 ratio team and like an Infinity team, see that compete. We got to see this kind of traditional style team versus a couple of different amazing, unkillable style teams. And it really gives a good balance of where we are currently in the meta, where if you're trying to hit the top levels of damage, traditional teams are still going to do it for you. But unkillable teams are obviously very consistent and will put out a lot of damage with a lot less headache about it. I just think it was really, really interesting looking at all the different ways we approach this. And
What's
Yeah,
insane
I
is
do need to call out. So Saphiro is one of my mods and part of HH Gaming. Like we worked on the speed tune together. I wouldn't have got there on my own. He's really good at speed tuning, and kind of he built the base, which we then tweaked together. But and I think probably I don't know if you guys had a similar type of thing, but some of these speed tunes, they don't just pop out of thin air. And, you know, the community are actually really lucky to have so many options, which are kind of pre-built for them using like Deadwood's site and stuff. Because actually, they're bloody difficult to build, especially when you've got awkward champions like Kautu. So, yeah, I mean, this is it's a cool team. It's a really fun team. And I desperately want to build it on my main account now. Like, I really want to get Kautu cooking on my main, like using whatever champions I want. But
bringing Chris,
it was, it was
the empowerment.
Also,
a Chris instead of Sandlash, that's gonna be powerful. You're gonna get it a bit further with Chris in there. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
It could reach 200 around there. Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
And I think Lydia does bring strength, which was pretty big. But I just got Tuhanarak as well, which is quite an interesting, different champion that could come into the mix.
I love Tuhanarak.
Yeah,
you're just gonna drop the weaken and the defense down.
You'd almost need a complete change around, but like Tatura goes and you end up swapping stuff about. But it's definitely there's some fun kind of changes that could definitely be made to that team.
So Hades, on this team, how long did you last on, let's just say, Void in that team like this? Do you recall it? Or
on Void, I still could last a full turn limit.
But what was the
my damage isn't anywhere near that. It's kind of like
120-ish.
No, a bit more than that. It's about 135, 140, I think. And I actually did a run with a Surga as well instead of the Kautu. I actually did it today for a video I'm going to put out tomorrow. But with a Surga, I lose about 45 million versus Kautu. So same run, same setup, same kind of. Although I wasn't on force, to be fair, so it might have been a bit better than that. But it kind of shows the difference. They're both the same champion, really. But Kautu just slaps, whereas Surga is the support unit instead of the damage as well, you know?
Makes sense.
Definitely.
Very
well,
cool.
well impressed with it. Well impressed with it, actually. GG's.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's a, you know, and you're right. It's not just us that come up with these comps. In fact, most of the time it's not us. Like you got Saphira. I have a bunch of moderators that helped me out a ton. Face Melter actually gave me a speed tune, the one I'm using. Right after the draft, I opened up my Discord and there was sitting in a nice message box for me. So that was really nice of him. But you know, it really takes one of the reasons why I like having the website with all the different speed tunes is because they come from all over the place. And so we're all able to kind of contribute to that and give that, you know, so people have an easier time building their teams. But yeah, that's pretty much this was great. This was an awesome draft. So guys, what I would like to do, I think Hades, are you gonna be streaming here?
Yeah. I'm gonna go live shortly, yeah.
Aren't we gonna do the losers?
Yeah, hold on a minute.
Oh my God! How did I forget that? Easily the most important thing here. We've got penalties, right? Oh my gosh!
I'm one of the losers, and I reminded you of that.
My apologies to everybody. Yeah, that's right. We got to do this. All right. Well, we got four losers. It's a great way of phrasing that. We got 4 losers here. Who would like to volunteer to go first and share an embarrassing moment of theirs, and start things off for us?
I think bottom first.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can go with that. Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right. Cold Brew.
Do you want to show the?
Sure. We've got a spoiler picture here from Cold Brew.
I got a picture and a story.
Oh my God! Is that Cold Brew there?
Look at that! Look at that!
So the story behind that, right? Purple hair. When we go to the army here in Cyprus, before we go to the army, because we cut our hair very short, like the military cut, it's a tradition to go and color your hair whatever kind of color you want. So that's what we did, and like the whole picture is me with a bunch of my friends, and everybody has like a different color. And the embarrassing thing about that is that I didn't know that if you dye your hair and you go, like, let's say to the beach and swim, the dye starts to just go down on your face, because you gotta have. It's not ideal to go to the beach like the first day, and I would get out of the water and my whole face was purple because of the dye from the hair.
That's pretty good. I like that.
So that's the story behind that.
Pretty solid. Pretty solid. I love. God, that is purple too. That is very purple.
Loved
How long
it.
did you keep that for then? Until it came out?
It was like a week.
Well,
It was like a week before we had to cut it.
Somebody was very single at that point in their life. That is something else. All right, reverse order. YST. I think that,
All right,
that
so
means you now.
I think I sent you. Have you got
You-
those?
You did. Are you guys? All right, hold
I'd
on, guys.
say-
I have to turn off the music. There's sound
There's
involved
music.
here.
So guys,
Uh-oh.
All right,
this is kind of about a 4 or 5 minute story. I don't know if you guys don't mind that, but it's pretty funny. I think.
Oh, sorry, wrong one. Here we go. Let's see. I think I have it queued up here.
Void Brew.
Three
Oh yeah,
youths.
wait.
Void Brew.
From Britain's toughest
I got-
concrete jungle.
That's gonna be the next title.
I got that emoji.
Their city
Oh,
compass
there he is.
Oh, there's no sound to it. I'm
and
sorry.
dropped in the
What
UK's
is that?
harshest wilderness,
Bit of a change, bit exciting.
where they'll be
That's
taught to
YST.
survive
Oh damn. Okay.
by the
Oh,
only
damn.
man who knows how.
Survival mode.
Oh, I'm Darren Packer,
It's like a,
and this is
Mockumentary type
Operation
of thing.
Survive.
Let's see if I can find it. Actually.
Nice
Is that
kid.
right?
Oh, yeah. Are you guys hearing this at all?
Yeah. Yeah, we're hearing it on stream. Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so the main thing why I wanted to show that, and there's actually, I don't know if you can pause in between that clip by any chance.
I can
I don't know
pause
if
it.
you
No, I can't. I'm sorry. I can't.
Okay, it's all right. So
Yeah.
you may have seen, I don't know if you want to mute it while I'm speaking. You can play it again if you want to.
Sure.
So basically, this was a TV show that I did with ITV2, and how this kind of came about was one of the producers called me up saying, "Yo, did I come on the show, or whatever?" And they've made me go all the way to Wales from where I am, right, for 3 days to do this TV show that I thought was gonna be like a real survival show. Turns out that it wasn't a real survival show. It was actually a take the mick show out of the contestants. So I was there for 3 days in Wales, away from my girlfriend, now wife at the time, in some random place with like 30 cameras every single day for a mock-up, right? And this is where it gets interesting. So, Deadwood, I sent you 2 pictures. Can you put the one where it's like a group picture first, if you can find it?
I will try to find it. Give me a second here.
Yeah. It's just so people get context of what I'm saying.
Sure.
They debated you, YST, huh? They took you from the hood in the woods, but for nothing, huh?
Listen, it gets a lot worse than this. Trust me. It gets worse.
I can't wait.
Jumanji.
There we go.
No, not that one. Do you have the other one? There was just 2 pictures.
Yep. I got that one too.
We'll get to that
Is
one.
that
after.
I'm
now?
not sure what we're seeing there.
Yeah, so this is basically this is actually a real actor. I'm not sure, Hades, if you've seen this. It's called Plebs in the UK.
I've
The
not seen
TV
it.
show. It's kind of
I've heard
it's
of
kind
it. Yeah. Plebs.
It's basic. So that guy there is called Ryan Sampson, the one on the right next to me, and basically he's in disguise. I actually knew this guy before, but I didn't know him while I was filming. And the whole time he was pretty much taking the mick, right? So he's got us here, literally rubbing freaking sticks together, trying to cause a fire for 30 minutes with a camera crew, and we're all looking at each other like, how the heck can you make a freaking fire? I'm taking it serious because it's ITV2, right? I don't think that they're gonna take the mick like that. And then he comes out with a lighter. He's like, yeah, let's just light this after 30 minutes. I look at him, I was like, are you taking the piss here? Like, I have been trying to do this for ages, right? And then from that advert that you've seen, when we was in the woods and all that stuff. So if you go to the other picture now, just to get a bit of context, pretty much me and this Ryan Sampson guy had GoPros on our head, right? And we was in a forest, and it was just me and him. Little did I know that he was taking the piss again, and basically we was going out to shoot for owls, but obviously it wasn't a real owl. But I was taking it so serious, and I thought it was real. So he's gone with the gun, he's lying on the floor, just me and him, bearing in mind at this point. He shoots the owl, obviously it's fake, it falls from a tree. He picks it up, and it's just me and him, right? He's like, this owl is so sacred. If we kill this, I can lose my job and all this stuff. Can you please say it was you? I was like, he's like, if you say it was you, then you won't get in trouble, it's fine. But if you say it was me, I'll lose my job. I was like, all right, don't worry, I won't snitch. You could just say it's me, it's fine. So we go back to the camp now, like a bit of a 10-minute walk and all this stuff. Bearing in mind, this is all on the GoPro. It's on TV to watch as well if you guys want to watch it one day. And basically, he goes to the camera crew. Oh, what's this? He's like, oh, it's an owl. And he's trying to hide it and stuff. Like, obviously, he's acting. And then they're like, what is that? What is that? And he shows it, and they're like, yeah, but he did it. And then everybody's face dropped. Obviously, they're acting and in and out as well. And I was, my heart sunk. Like, I was like, oh no, I have just said that I have killed a sacred animal. Little did I know it was a plush toy. I have literally got so angry on set. I was so pissed off because obviously this guy is put me on the spot on main TV and stuff. And I was like, I was literally going to beat this guy up, like serious. I was so fed up with his stuff after the last 3 days. And then the camera crew starts chasing me because I'm chasing that guy. And they're like, it's a joke, it's a prank show. I'm like, why the F are you bringing me here for 3 days for a prank show? And then after, like, I calmed down a little bit and then I laughed it off. I was like, I was a good sport about it. But at the time, I was so in the moment for 3 days.
Oh my God.
I took it so serious. There was so much stuff in there that I can't even remember, but they took the mick for 3 days. Seriously.
Wow.
Yeah. But there's that owl, man. I'll save that picture forever.
I feel like that story is good enough for the rest of us too. That is Jesus Christ, that's hilarious. I'm gonna have to watch these reality shows more now. I didn't realize they didn't tell. I always figured everybody was in on it. That is
No, I really didn't know. I always thought that as well. That's why I believed it so much, because the guy that called me, he is acting like it's a proper experience, because I did TV shows before, right? That was kind of like on the stage kind of things. This was my first production, 30 man in Wales filming us. It was really professional, and for them to be taking the mic, I was like, oh my God, and now this is going to be on TV to millions of people. Like, come on.
phenomenal.
It was cool to look back now, yeah.
Phenomenal. That wins the story award for sure. Skratch, I think you're next on our list. I think so. So you gave me a story to put on, a picture to put up here, so I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, so I personally don't really get embarrassed very often, you know. So
which one are you?
That's just for visual, so you guys can imagine. Okay, so hear me out. Okay, hear me out.
I was like, scratching this one.
I started going at the gym with the wife a while ago, right? She said we gotta work out and all this, and she was like, "Can you come to a class with me? Let's go to a class together." You know, I was like, "No, I don't want to go to classes, blah blah blah." But then she insisted, and I went to a class with her, you know, and I go there. There were only girls, right? Only women. It was me alone, the only guy there, okay? And everybody was kind of looking at me, and the instructor was keep telling me, like, don't lean forward when I was doing my lunges, you know? And me, I understood the completely opposite, because the music was so loud. So I was just leaning more forward and more forward while everybody was looking at me. And the instructor just telling me, don't do it, don't do it. I was like, yeah, I'm going to do it. So everybody was just looking at me like, look at this idiot, what is he doing there?
So you go back every week now, right? That's the moral of that story.
You're
that's it. Never been again.
Instructor now.
I haven't changed gym since then.
I got tears in my eyes after that one.
That's yeah, that sounds accurate. All right, I'll tell my story here. So I don't have a picture of the moment, but I thought I'd put out. My mom sent me mini Deadwood, so I figured that's the first of my cowboy hat phase. But my story takes place a few years later. I think I was like 10 or 12, right, middle school, and I'm kind of inquisitive by nature. And my dad's house has it had a vacuum like system in the house, so you basically take a hose and you plug it in. It like magnetically connects to the vacuum in the house, and then gets nice suction and all that. And I was curious, being as inquisitive as I was, I wondered what it would look like in a vacuum, because there's nothing in there. So what would you see? So I took the end of the vacuum hose and I put it up to my eye, and I tried to open my eye, and I couldn't do it. No. I couldn't see anything. So then I tried the other eye because I still couldn't see anything. And I was like, okay, well, nothing happened, right? No big deal. Then my folks come home. And they're like, what happened to you? What happened? Because I had two huge black eyes right here from the blood
right.
vessels bursting
Oh,
over my
no.
face.
No.
Yeah. I kind of had these like, I looked like a raccoon walking around. So
I wish we had a
yes,
picture.
I know. I was texting my folks. They're both like, no, I don't. So for like 2 weeks at school, I had to go to school with two black eyes. This is like Sunday too. So it's the very next day. It was uncomfortable. But cool part to that, Halloween, I dressed up as a Hoover man with a bunch of hoses on my arms. That was really fun too. So yeah, those are the stories we have for you guys. Penalties have been given, and we're gonna go give away some rewards as well. But we're gonna go over to HellHades channel to do that, because he has that set up a lot easier than I do. So Hades is gonna be able to give away. Yeah, go
Should
on.
I just share my picture anyway? I don't have like the funniest story alongside it, but it is a picture that just plagues my life. So
You want me to put that up for you? Yeah, I could do that.
Why not?
Is this the birthday picture? That you took?
Yeah, you mentioned something
It's a
about
good
it
one.
the other
There you
day.
go.
Yeah. So, so basically, I'm wearing my daughter's goggles, and I was just like, we was playing in the pool, and I was like, can I just borrow your goggles for a minute? We was just like, I don't know, we were trying to find things at the bottom of the pool, like these weights. And, and then I looked up, my sister went, smile. So I smiled like with a stupid face. And I deliberately tried to look stupid, right? It was deliberate. But yeah, every year, my pool team, this picture comes up from my pool team, my football team. It's all over my Facebook. I've literally got a shirt with it printed on the front and the back. It comes out every year as if like it was like a normal stupid picture. I was like, guys, I was actually trying to look stupid in this picture, and they're like, yeah, like cracking up every time they see it. So yeah, I figured why not bring it to stream as well, seeing this is everywhere else.
I love it. I love it. Thank you guys so much for sticking around for this whole video. Please take the time to go subscribe to these amazing content creators. Cannot thank them enough. Skratch Plays, HellHades, ColdBrewGaming, YST, amazing folks. And go ahead and hit that subscribe button for this video as well to ensure that I do another one of these in the future. That's all we got today, guys. Till next we meet, I'm the Deadwood Jedi.